Social media censorship is really starting to heat up, but what's the online communications landscape going to look like in the near future? As many of you have known, I've been talking about online censorship, free speech, communications platforms, and more importantly, decentralized technology for a very long time now. And of course, always saying, if it's decentralized, you can't be censored, you can't be taken down, things like that when talking about platforms like Library, talking about cryptocurrencies for payments such as Dash and things like that. And I know I've been telling you guys just how bad it's been getting, but now I started to unfortunately experience it myself. On Facebook over the last couple of weeks, I tried to like a couple of statuses. One was on the Signal private messenger and how it's exploding everywhere and everyone's using it. And the other one was one predicting that with the new US regime, there would be more military action in places such as Yemen, and that's not a good thing. Both of these statuses were pretty tame in how they were phrased. They didn't go into any kind of conspiratorial nonsense or anything, and they didn't go into hyperbole or insults, and they were both from longtime friends who have, social life and careers and things like that, and don't just like shitpost online all the time. So it was very strange, and both times my account got locked just for trying to like that status. And of course, it could be a mistake of some kind, but it's a little bit telling that two of these hot button issues, trying to like it repeatedly, something happens. And the experience has been getting worse and worse for just a lot of people. Some people have had links in private messages blocked. They can't even just say, hey, have you seen this, to their friends and coworkers or whatever on private communication channels. And it's starting to get to a really bad state where just average people who have nothing controversial in their little brains swirling around there are starting to just actually feel the effects of this. So what now? Well, short term, everyone's migrating to alternative platforms, whether it's a Gab or Parler or MeWe or Minds or anything else you can think of. And of course, this is a temporary solution because those places are not censoring you yet. They say we have a strong anti-censorship commitment. We're never going to do that. We're the alternative, and et cetera, et cetera. And additionally, if you're on a few platforms, especially ones that aren't part of the mainstream, the chances of you getting censored or banned off of all of them is less because you sort of spread that risk amongst alternatives. But ultimately, this is not going to be a solution because you're always going to have some kind of a centralized infrastructure that someone can go take down. There will always be someone who you can sue to go take it down. And just naturally, these platforms could always just grow up to be big enough and then forget where they came from and just say, you know what, we're going to kowtow to these people, or we don't like these people. They're going to go mad with power, and the whole thing starts over again. I mean, just remember how much of a Wild West the social media world used to be. With Twitter, just any kind of thing. With Facebook, any kind of thing. People were live streaming riots and revolutions and stuff from other countries. That's what made it such a beautiful thing. It was just free communication. Everyone was doing things. So many Facebook pages for like conspiracy theory and stuff came up and started circulating all over the place, and then eventually got cracked down on. Now, we cannot really imagine this will be any different with these alt platforms. Parler is the biggest example of alt platform failure. From its inception, it banned and censored people, and when it attracted too many of a certain type of person, the Play and App Stores banned it, and eventually the whole site got taken down when it lost its hosting. So what's our real solution out of this? Obviously, always decentralization, something that does not rely on a central point of failure or just like a couple in order to shut down, something that runs on a decentralized infrastructure where there's no head, there's no company, there's no single server farm you can just go after and just say, I want to shut this whole thing down. And of course, that's easier said than done, but it's a technologically developmental process, and this keeps getting better over time, and it obviously will never get there if we don't actually work on it and provide consumer demand for these solutions to actually be created. Now, another problem people aren't talking about is centralization of funding, because you could have the most awesome decentralized open source sort of protocol out there that works really great, but it won't be top of the line without constant development and funding. And if there's a central source for all this funding and things like that, and a central group of people that rely on payment processors and things like that to get their money, then it will never be truly censorship resistant. So what will the ideal solution actually look like? Well, hopefully we get to see soon. I'm working on something special with a couple guys, and this could be something really cool coming out this year, but I'll just leave that as a teaser for now. So what's the most ridiculous thing you've ever been censored for? Assuming you've been censored, you probably have been if you're kind of the crowd to watch this video. Was it just something where you said the wrong word and just got auto banned? Was it something completely unrelated? You have no idea even why. Was it just a politically charged thing? Was it just quoting an older statistic by some World Health Organization or something, which does get you banned, unfortunately, if you quote the wrong one that's not in vogue right now? What was it? What did get you censored? And if you want to use my Cointree link, cointr.ee/thedesertlinks, as is always linked down below, and you want to go send me a little message with that, I'll even make a post about it and shine some light on that ridiculous situation. So yeah, anyway, let me know, and you have a good one.